Good afternoon, Newfoundland and Labrador. Good morning, the rest of the world, and good afternoon to other parts of the world that may be tuning in to this broadcast. If you are joining us, thank you for joining us. My name is Liam Warren. I am the Communications Director of Rugby Newfoundland and Labrador and of this tournament. I will be your single commentator tonight as people are not available today, so please tune in for this last game of the U19 CRC here at the Swallows Rugby Complex at the Dells Field in the Swallows Rugby Complex in St. John's, Newfoundland and Labrador. If you did not hear, yesterday the Atlantic Rock won against Ontario 21-5 in an amazing game of rugby. The gods opened up, the heavens opened up, and it poured, folks. It was an amazing game of rugby. I was very proud. It's a historic day for the province of Newfoundland and Labrador, the sport of rugby. And Ontario, I believe, in this game, they are looking to end off their trip here to the Rock in a win. The Prairie Blizzards have had a rough trip so far, but they've been able to develop as a team, come together, become a stronger team, become more wise of little mistakes, how they can affect them, and cleaning up those little mistakes. So this is the last game. This is not a part of the official tournament. It is a friendly match before both teams leave the Rock after an amazing week of rugby here at the Swallows Rugby Complex. Kickoff will be kicking off shortly. The Ontario Blues and the Prairie Blizzards faced off already this week. It was a major defeat for the Prairie Blizzards. I believe they were left blankless. I do not have the score in front of me. I believe the score may have been 59-0 or something of that nature for the Ontario Blues. So the Prairie Blizzards are looking to turn that around and end their trip here to the Rock on a high note. Some people to watch on the Prairie Blizzards. Number 7, Dean Mason. It's his fourth tournament, as you've already heard multiple times, I'm sure. And number 3, Kyle Stevens, my apologies. He's had a strong tournament as well. On the Ontario Blues, make sure to keep your eye out for Cole Brown, their number 9 scrum half. There's been a few changes around. And both teams are ready, doing their last-minute preps. The ref is at half. We'd like to take this opportunity to thank you guys all for tuning in throughout the week. It's been an amazing week of rugby here in Newfoundland and Labrador. On behalf of the organizing committee, myself, Roxanne, John, Pat, Morgan, and Sean, we appreciate you guys for tuning in, day out, and making this tournament possible. So you see both teams are now huddling up here. Last-minute chats before they go on for the last game here of the U19 CRC 2019 here at the Adele's pitch at the Swallows Rugby Complex. If you're joining in, make sure to tweet using the hashtag U19CRC 2019 and let us know where you are watching from. You can follow along. There won't be many tweets today, unfortunately, as I'm commentating at our Twitter, which is rugby_NL, and our Facebook is NL Rugby, and our Instagram is NL Rugby. Our website is also nlrugby.ca, so make sure to follow along there for exciting developments of the sport in rugby in Newfoundland and Labrador. As the club teams get back in action next week, it should be an exciting week of rugby. I believe the Dogs take the Bayman on in some Goodyear Cup action. So the scores will be posted there. Unfortunately, we can't live stream every game here on the Rock. There's just way too many games to stream. But we'd like to thank also, this stream would not be possible without the fine folks over at 360 Go Live and 5TV1, and also our amazing producer and cameraman, Daryl. So thank you very much, guys, for being here all week. We've greatly appreciated, and it's definitely crucial for the development of the sport of rugby in Canada. Both teams are now lining up. We will be kicking off shortly, folks. Make sure to stay tuned here. Grab a cup of coffee, a quick bite to eat. We are getting ready to go, folks. The Prairies are going to be kicking off here now to the Ontario Blues. It looks like this is a crucial kickoff here now for the Prairie Blizzards. They want to be able to turn over the ball from amazing pressure there by their forward pack. Let's see if they will be able to do it, folks. And the ref blows the whistle. The game is good to go. There's a bit of talk there from the Prairie Blizzards. Number 9 is kicking for the Prairie Blizzards. That is number 9. Number 9 for Prairie Blizzards is Andre Gurk. Nice little kick there just beyond the 10. It looks like it'll be a knock on there from Ontario, but the Prairie are able to pick it up. I think the ref will play advantage. Let's see if what will happen, folks. And there we go. There's Ryan Stevens we talked about. Good taking on the ball. He does that a lot in the game. Keep watching out for that. Good run there from the Prairie Blitz to maintain possession. Keep good running, getting beyond the advantage line. Number 12, good pickup there from the Prairie Blizzards to not knock it on, maintain possession. They are in the Ontario Blues 40. They want to be here. Little kick there from the number 10 of the Prairie Blizzards. Messy ball on the floor there from number 11 from the Ontario Blues, who tries to turn over the ball. And yeah, you'll see on number 13 there, they have a lot of mud on their jersey now. That you should have seen. I don't know if you guys were tuning in yesterday, but the field was pondy. Every time someone would land, the field, there would be water coming up so that you can still see the mud. It's a dry day here at the rugby complex. It's hopefully not going to rain. Cross our fingers, because I was drenched yesterday, and I'm sure everybody in attendance was drenched. But that 16th man effect really did help the team yesterday win that game, which was crucial. The ref calls it up, as we mentioned. The scrum is a very important set piece for both teams, and it's also very important to make sure that safety is always at the forefront of everybody's mind in all aspects of the sport of rugby. That's something that Tim Powers talked a bit about, myself and Jack talked a bit about. Safety is the utmost priority in the sport of rugby. Good work there by Ontario to push it, but the ref calls it up. There's only a certain amount of drive allowed in the under-19 rules, and you also have to hold it until the ball. You have to hold your push until the ball is put in there by usually the scrum half. The ref moves the scrum out a bit, and it's still a Prairie Blizzards put in. We haven't seen much action really in this first half so far. We're only roughly 2.5 minutes into the game. But it's been mostly Prairie possession ball, which is good for them because in their last meetup, these two teams, Ontario was dominating. They were keeping all ball. And we ultimately saw that in the result. The Ontario Blues had a strong scrum, but the ref calls it as a penalty, and Prairie's have to go quick. Good run there from number 8 of the Prairie Blizzards. Peyton Tinner to gain yards. Nice little rewind back into number 6 of the Prairie Blizzards. Keep good footwork there by the Deka player and go down and maintain possession by the looks of it. But Ontario is hungry for that ball. They're fighting for it there. It looks like there might be hands to the ball, and the ref does call it as that. So the Prairie Blizzards are once again have a penalty. It'll be interesting to see now if they go for a kick or if they opt to go quick. It looks like, folks, that they might go for a quick kick. Or no, folks, it looks like they are going to kick for points. So if they're kicking for points, folks, if they are able to make the kick, they will get 3 points. And those 3 points are important in this game. Every points matter. We have 30-minute halves. We have 30-minute half, folks, so it's not that long of a rugby game, which is 60 minutes of rugby. So it's very important to get as many points as you can in the amount of time you can. So number 9 of the Prairie Blizzards is going to go for that kick. We talked about him a bit. Andre Gurk, he has kicked a few times. He was able to turn the ball over there from his kick. He was able to do a nice kick that the Prairie Blizzards were able to turn off there from the opening kickoff. And now, folks, if it does not go through, the ball is still live unless it goes out. So that means the Prairie Blizzards, if this is not successful, they need to be ready to defend the Ontario Blues, who are looking most likely to get out of their 22. And the kick there is not good. As we mentioned, the kick is live, so the Ontario Blues opt to go quickly. But I think that will be a knock-on, folks. Let's see if the referee will try to do. I don't think. Yeah, the referee called it, folks. So that's the importance there from the Prairie Blizzards. Good pressure there to make sure they get up, not take that little break. And that means, folks, the score is still 0-0. I think we'll have a scrum here now, so it'll be interesting to see if the Ontario Blues will be able to maintain that contact until they are allowed to do so. The ref calls it up as it's very important, folks, to make sure that everything we do in rugby has the safety in the forefront of our minds. It's very important to make sure that everybody feels comfortable. That's one of the great things about rugby, and not many other sports make sure that everybody is feeling comfortable and nice and safe. Once again, it is a Prairie put in. The scrum collapses again, but the referee does not signal for anything. Good take there by number 8 of the Prairie Blizzards to off the scrum. Now, hopefully, folks, that the Prairie Blizzards do not start to feel white line fever. That is, if you're really close to the try zone, everyone wants to score the ball. Everyone's going to take the ball, and sometimes mistakes are made from that, folks. Let's see if the Prairie Blizzards are able to think as a team and get that first crucial try of this game. Good pressure there from Ontario Blues to push them back a slight bit. Oh, nice little kick. Will it work? Good pick up there. Oh, it's backwards, folks. Good pick up there by number 15, recovery. This is the folks, guys. This is the one we called the dancer, myself and Jack. He likes to dance. He was able to maintain ball. Good ruck there from number 15. Number 9, Opsico himself. Is he alone? Good work there from Ontario Blues to chop him down, double team. That's sometimes what you need to do, folks. Number 9 is in, so it'll be interesting to see. I think they're going to do a giver. There we go. This is good work this is good defense by the Ontario Blues. They are pushing them back every ruck. Good work there from number 3, Ryan Steves of the Prairie Blizzards, taking on the ball. The Prairie Blizzards are hungry, folks. They are coming home. They are going home empty-handed without a medal. They want to show at least they can win one game, and it would be amazing to beat the silver medalist Ontario Blues. Little long pass there from number 10. Oh, a little offload, but it was not good. A little kickback to their dancers in again, folks. Little offload to number 5 for the Prairie Blizzards. Number 15, I'll clarify, his name is not the dancer. That is Luke Wilson, and he is an amazing little runner when he gets going. Refs calling a penalty. There's Dean Mason running a little slower than he had hoped. They had to touch it off the mark first. Dean Mason takes the ball, number 7. He is a 4-time veteran of this tournament. He has the knowledge and the passion there to make a difference on his team. Good little rewind there from the Prairie Blizzards. Will it be over the line, folks? Will it be over the line? Another. And, folks, the Prairie Blizzards are over the line to start the match here at the Swallows Rugby Complex in St. John's, Newfoundland, Labrador. That brings the score to 5-0 for the Prairie Blizzards. That is a crucial first try from the Prairie Blizzards to start the game, set the tone for the game. They've been working hard now. The first 7 minutes of this game, they haven't been in their own half. It'll be interesting to see now, folks, if they're able to keep that pressure up when Ontario kicks to them in their own half. They have to be able to get that ball out of their own half without making any little mistakes, because we saw in the previous games all the time when a team makes a little mistake, such as a missed pass or a knock-on or a little simple mistake, Ontario is able to capitalize on it, pick it up, and they usually run in and score a try every little mistake a team makes. So that is crucial for the Prairie Blizzards to keep in the back of their minds now. But they have a little bit of room. They are 5-0. It'll be interesting to see now if number 9 for the Prairie Blizzards is able to make this kick. Just give it a second, folks, and we'll see. An amazing kick there from number 9 of the Prairie Blizzards to bring the score to 7-0. Ontario Blues are coming back now. They are hungry. They have been playing defense the majority of the games thus far. They want to be on the forefront now. They want to score a try, and even this game, with roughly 8 minutes in the game, there's still plenty of time in this game, folks. It's not a done game yet. It's only 7-0 as well. But an amazing start there for the Prairie Blizzards. They are going to be very happy with that, I'm sure. Little kick there from the Ontario Blues, a bit deeper than they probably would have liked, and that is out, folks. So that is going to be a Prairie Blizzards line-out. It'll be interesting to see now what they opt to do as their exit strategy, if they'll try to run it hand and ball, or if they will try to do it as a little kick. Thus far in the tournament, it's been a little bit of both. It'll be interesting to see what they do. I'm sure the Prairie Blizzards are going to be a bit more confident now in this game, being up by a little bit. They haven't been in this position often. Good work there from Dean Mason. Good throw. The ref called it straight. Some people were saying not straight. Oh, and there, good running there from number 12 of the Prairie Blizzards to break through the line. Good pickup there by Luke Wilson. The ref does not call anything, so Ontario is able to capitalize on it. I think the ref is playing advantage off of a knock-on, folks. So it'll be interesting to see now the Ontario Blues. This is what we're talking about. This is the first time that they have been on pressure, but the Ontario Blues, it is a slight pass forward, I think. A slight forward pass. My apologies. They were playing. I think it was a slight forward pass there from Ontario, but they were playing their original knock-on call. They're from number 15 of the Prairie Blizzards. My apologies, Luke Wilson, as he was trying to pick up the ball under immense pressure from the Ontario Blues, and that's exactly what happens, folks. When you get up in somebody's face in rugby, you get up off the line, you get up super fast. There's little mistakes that happen, and we've seen that throughout the entire tournament with all teams at different times. So this is the first scrum for the Ontario Blues. They've been pretty strong in this scrum. Let's see if they'll be able to utilize this now as they're just outside the Prairie Blizzards 22. Good put in there by Ontario. Good pressure there from number 9, but I think it's going to be a penalty, folks. That was number 9 of the Prairie Blizzards. He's been all around the field so far today, but it was a slight, I think, a little bit early of a hit there from him. So they called the ref called it a penalty, and I think, based on what the Ontario Blizzards are doing, they're going to kick for a line-out, folks. And the thing about the line-out on a penalty is they are able to maintain possession even though they kicked it out. So this is a crucial one here, as they are exactly on the 22 of the Prairie Blizzards. They are putting the Prairie Blizzards under immense pressure now. It'll be interesting to see if they decide to do a driving line-out or if they go quickly out to their backs. Oh, good work there from the Prairie Blizzards, the front jumper to turn over that ball and take away the advantage that Ontario has, and they are under less pressure now, folks. They are going forward, which is exactly what they want to see. Good running there from number 1, and he is over the advantage line. That is David Arnson. That is the penalty on the Prairie Blizzards. The Ontario team will now have the ball. Will they kick for points, or will they go for hand and ball? Prairie Blizzards kicked in a similar position previously in this game on the other end for points. So I think they're going to go quick through hands. No, the ref calls it down a scrum. I'm not exactly sure what happened there, folks. I didn't see it. But it went from a penalty to a scrum. There's a bit of discussion there from number 9 of the Prairie Blizzards to see what exactly is on the go there. It's going to be an Ontario put in at center field. Just outside of the 22 of the Prairie Blizzards. Ontario wants to maintain possession here and try to get through that back line there of the Prairie Blizzards. Once Ontario gets going, folks, and they are running, they are a dangerous force to reckon with. They're fast. They're able to think quickly. They're able to pass, execute their passes well. And so the ref moves it slightly over to the further side of the pitch. I'm not exactly sure. It looks like there may be some mud. Some issues with the field surface here at the Adele's pitch, which is just brandly newly redone for the cost of $900,000 and brandly new reopened. So I'm sure there'll be some maintenance work on the field after this week. There's been roughly, I think, 10 games played on this, not 10 games, 8 games played on this pitch, so it definitely takes a toll on the field, and it's been hard-hitting rugby. It hasn't been graceful rugby, but it's been amazing rugby to watch, and I'm hoping you guys have enjoyed it as much as I have. Good work there from Ontario Blue to get past the advantage line. They are now into 22. Good cleanup there from a back of the Ontario Blues to maintain possession. Good running there from a prop, I believe, of the Ontario Blues, but good pressure there from Prairie Blizzards, and I think he's held up, and he's driven back, folks. He is driven back outside of the 22 there by the Prairie Blizzards. But I think there might have been a slight penalty involved in that there, so the ref calls it as a penalty, but I'm thinking he might call it. Yeah, so it's going to be a penalty, folks. Ontario's going to go now. They're going to try that line out again. They weren't able to maintain possession on their last line out. The Prairie Blizzards were able to get up in front of them and take that ball. But now they're roughly on the 5 of the Prairie Blizzards. The Prairie Blizzards are looking to take this ball again, turn it over. And the Ontario Blues, my apologies, are looking to keep the ball and hopefully set up a drive. So, folks, we just saw an example there. If you put up a person, you can take them down, but you can't put them back up there in the line out. That was a good example there of what thinking smart, thinking on the fly. So the Prairie Blizzards put up their person right away, and Ontario was able to wait for that person to be put down, then they were able to throw it. Good running there from Ontario. Good, strong running to maintain possession there. Good counter ruck there by the Prairie Blizzards. They're working hard, but no is able to get out. Oh, big little good, strong running there again from the Ontario Blues. This is what I was talking about, folks. Once they get going, they can go. Good work there. The Prairie Blizzards need to fill the field. They are calling to fill the field, and it looks like they are. They're looking up. There was a slight penalty involved there, so there'll be a... No, folks, my apologies. I think it was a knock-on. So it's going to be Prairie's put in on its scrum. The Ontario scrum has been strong thus far. It'll be interesting to see if they'll be able to turn the ball over. The Prairies definitely want to maintain the possession here as they are just on their own 5, and it was they want to get out of here. They want to be playing in their Ontario half. It's been an amazing game of rugby so far for both teams. Both teams have been amazing at defense. They've been getting up. They've been making hard tackles, and both teams have had some good runs as well. Good put in there from the Prairie Blizzards. Good pressure there from Ontario's 7. Ooh, that's a hard hit, folks. I can hear that up here in the crow's nest. Yeah, the Prairie Blizzards are going to kick it out there. They're going to try to, and it's out, folks. So that's going to be an Ontario Blues line out. Probably not exactly what they were looking for in their exit strategy. They were probably looking for it to go more so near the touchline, but not out. And they were probably looking for it to go more so longer than shorter, as they did not get out very far. They have a line out here now, just inside their 22. They were probably hoping to get that ball at least to halfway, get up and put immense pressure on the Ontario Blues there. Both teams are taking their time getting up. Good turn, good work there from the jumper there on the Prairie Blizzards to turn over that ball. A little tap back, my apologies. Was able to get possession. They do a rewind. Good running there from Dean Mason. He did a little offload there to his wing. Good running there from the wing to stay in, folks. Little fake option there. Good running from the Prairie Blizzards again to keep that ball going forward. You can see that Ontario is going backwards there. Good line speed there from Ontario, though, to stay up. Heavy hit there from the Ontario Blues, and the ref calls something. I think it's going to be a knock-on. Yes, folks, it's going to be a knock-on. That was amazing pressure there from the Ontario Blues to get up and hit the ball out of the Prairie's hand pretty much. So folks, if you're just joining us, the score is 7-0 for the Prairie Blizzards. We're roughly 18 minutes into the first half here of a friendly match between the Ontario Blues and the Prairie Blizzards here to finish off what was an amazing week of rugby, which saw the Atlantic Rock win the national championship for the first time in 9 years yesterday, 21-5 for the Ontario Blues. It was an amazing performance. I was talking to a team manager before this game, Pat Prairie, and he is ecstatic. He said the team was on fire. They didn't make any mistakes, and he was amazed by all the people that came out. So thank you for tuning into that game yesterday. And also, if you're here and you're watching today, thank you for coming as well. The 16th man was successful, folks. So once again, we have a scrum. It says the Prairie's put it in. They're going to look to exit here, I'm sure. Good drive there from Ontario. It looks like they may have turned the ball over. But I'm not sure. The ref calls it back, folks. So I think they're going to reset the scrum. I think it might have been a bit too aggressive. Not aggressive of a push, but a bit of an early push there. Bit of an early engagement. And I know myself from experience, it's kind of hard sometimes to, when you're in a game such as this, that you want to win, that you're down, and you're giving it all you got, and it's kind of hard sometimes to maintain that pressure in the scrum, but you have to control yourself. You have to control your second rows, your flanks, your 8-man. You have to control them all to not get that early engagement, because if it happens multiple times, the ref will start to call it as a penalty. Good drive there from Ontario, but they're able to control it, and the Prairies have possession. Oh, good running there from the Prairies to see that hole. Good work there from the Prairies, and I think he might be off to the races. That is number 12 for the Prairies, Quentin Kleep from the Prairie Blizzards. Good running. That got them out of their 20. That got them out of their own 22 to the other team's 22. Good feed there from number 10 to number 5 of the Prairie Blizzards. What does number 5 do? Nice little offload to Ryan Stevens once again. They are now in the 22 of the Ontario Blues, folks. Good little chip there from number 10. Will it work? Will it work? Good pressure there from the Prairie Blizzards. It's now an Ontario ball, but they are going forward. They're feeling the field, folks. They are getting up hard and heavy. Good work there from the Prairie Blizzards to get Ontario down right next to the ruck. Good work there from the post, I assume, and the A defender there. Ontario tries to get out. They do a little kick. Good pickup there from the Prairie Blizzards. Fullback Luke Wilson's running again. He's doing a bit of a dance, but he is running, folks, and he is running straight through traffic. And he's not held, folks, so he's up. That's an amazing work there by Luke Wilson to keep driving his feet and get up, as now it is a Prairie's ball, and they are back where they started, folks. Number 10 goes to number 13. Number 13, nice little deke there. Good tackle from the Ontario Blues to drive them back. That was a heavy hitting tackle there. Number 9 opts to go himself. He's just on the other side of the ruck there. Good work there from, I believe, Dean Mason to clean up the ball while number 7 is down on the ground. Good work there by number 1, David Arson. He is driving his legs to keep the ball going. Number 2, Tyler Grum for the Prairie Blizzards took it off right over the ruck. That's not what Prairie's wanted right now, folks. It's a penalty against them, so it'll be Ontario's ball. Ontario will most likely kick to get out of their own 22. That was a few phases there of rugby from the Prairie Blizzards, but it ultimately resulted in a penalty, which is not what they wanted, as they were close to that try line once again. They were close to scoring, and they could have extended the lead. But I don't think that's out. That's not out, folks. It's out there now. It's out at half. So I believe, folks, where it was not straight out, it will be a Prairie's put-in, a Prairie's throw-in. And we've already talked about it a bit. But no, it's going to be an Ontario throw-in. My apologies. You'll see there down now, number 7, Dean Mason, the 4-time veteran. He is a force to be reckoned with. He is actually acting in the hooker's position there, which is something I was interested to see. But it's very important in such a tournament to be versatile and be able to play multiple positions, especially for consideration for the Canadian under-20 and future national men's team. And that's going to be a penalty. Good pressure there from both sides. Ontario was going forward. Prairie's were able to slow it down a bit. But ultimately, there was a penalty infraction against the Prairie Blizzards. Good work there. We don't have a ball boy on this side, so it'll be interesting to see if they will have somebody go get the ball. But the ball looks to be rolling back on the field. We'd like to take this opportunity to thank Platinum, sponsor of the tournament, the government of Newfoundland and Labrador. This tournament would not be possible without the sponsors that we have ranged from our community. The government of Newfoundland and Labrador has always been a great friend of the sport of rugby in Newfoundland and Labrador, and they also assisted in the redevelopment of the Adele's pitch as well, contributing a lot of money. So on behalf of the entire rugby community of St. John's, Newfoundland and Labrador, it is greatly appreciated. The Ontario Blues are able to maintain that line out. They get it out wide. Good pressure there from the Prairie Blizzards to get up in their face, but they miss a tackle. They are trailing him. There's number 15, our good friend Luke Wilson, once again, getting him down. Oh, and see, folks, that's what happens when you get up. The immense pressure makes them knock the ball on. You get hit, and your immediate reaction is, oop, and the ball is out, folks. Oh, a little opt-in there. There's number 1, David Arson again for the Prairie Blizzards. Strong running from him once again. The entire front row has been strong, and for this Prairie Blizzards team so far in this game. Good pickup there by number 13. Good pressure there from number 12 with Ontario Blues to get up, and they are now on the Prairie Blizzards are now in their own 22. They're going to be interesting to see if they're going to go hand and ball for their exit strategy. He's isolated. The kick probably doesn't get off as he wants, as number 12 of the Ontario Blues hits it, blocks it. Go kick there by number 15, Luke Wilson of the Prairie Blizzards. Prairie Blizzards are a bit slower getting up on the pressure, and you can see that the Ontario Blues get it out wide. Good tackle there by the Prairie Blizzards, and they are able to turn that ball over. Oh, good. There's a penalty somewhere involved there, so it's a Prairie's ball. It is going to be a Prairie's penalty. The ref is talking to his line person. That's the amazing thing about this tournament as well. Their use of the technology for communication between the sides, the people, letting the subs in, the linesmen, the lines people, the referees. It's an amazing use of technology here. So there's a slight little, the trainers going on the field. I'm not exactly sure. It appears that there's some discussion happening between the referees. So we'll take this quick opportunity to also thank gold sponsor Mr. Keith Bradbury of Keith Bradbury Remax. Amazing man, amazing real estate agent. For any of your real estate needs, please contact Keith. So I think the Prairie Blizzards are going to opt to kick. I don't think they're going to go quick in hand. They want to get out of their own half. So the way to do that is by kicking it up out of their own half and then taking a line out. And their line out so far this game has been pretty strong. They've been able to maintain ball. They've been able to turn over a few balls. So that's been a pretty impressive set piece. And I'm sure their coaching staff, along with their forward staff and their team manager, will be happy with their lineouts today. Ref calls time back on. Number 10 there, the Prairie Blizzards going to kick for them. Their number 10 is Mikko Vartok. He's been pretty good at distributing the ball today. And that ball's out. So now, folks, the Prairie Blizzards are in the Ontario Blues 40. This is a good spot for the Prairie Blizzards to be right now. Their line has been pretty dangerous, as I just mentioned. They can hopefully keep ball in hand and keep the ball going forward as they have been doing so far in this game. This is definitely a different game than we had when we saw them play on Tuesday. It was definitely a closer game, definitely a more entertaining game. As good work there by the back of the lineup to maintain possession. I think that was Ryan Stevens once again. Good pressure there from Ontario Blues to not turn over the ball. My apologies, but be able to get the person down nice and fast, put the Prairie Blizzards under pressure. Bit of a heavy pass there. There's number 15, Luke Wilson, once again. And good pressure there from number 11 of the Ontario Blues to get back into the half they want to be. But there's a slight penalty, I think, there, folks. So I think it's going to be a Prairie's ball. It'll be interesting to see now if they opt to kick, because if they kick, they can get even closer to the try line here than they probably can with hand and ball. But it'll be interesting to see, as that line out there was a bit messy at the back. They didn't get the ball in hand. It was up to the people at the back to clean up the ball. But no, folks, they're not going to go for the passing ball in hand. They're not going to go for the kick to touch. They're going to go for the kick for points, folks. As I mentioned before, the kick for points is, if they get it, they'll get 3 additional points. So it'll be interesting to see. This is a bit of a wider kick. There's not much of wind here today at the complex, as I know people have been mentioning throughout the entire week, the Swiler's wind that blows left to right. You haven't been seeing much of that here today. So it'll be interesting to see if they'll be able to make this. Their first kick for points attempt was not successful. So this is from the opposite side of the field, so it might be a stronger side for this kicker here for the Prairie Blizzards. We'll see now in a short moment. And you'll see behind the kicker there as he sets up the Marco Builders of Atlantic Canada sign. Marco is an amazing platinum sponsor of this tournament and also an amazing sponsor of the Swallows Rugby Club, the Newfoundland Labrador Rugby Union. Thank you very much for your support, guys. It's greatly appreciated. And that's good. That's good, folks. So that brings an additional 3 points for the Prairie Blizzards. So that brings an additional little cushion there once again. So that brings the score, folks, with only roughly a few minutes left here in the first half to 10 for the Prairie Blizzards and 0 for the Ontario Blues. So now, folks, once this goes off, as we mentioned before, we saw when it didn't go through. The ball was live and that. But now that we're successful, Ontario gets the ball, they bring it up to half, and they kick it to the Prairie Blizzards, as you do if there was a try scored. Good work there from the Prairie Blizzards. Good running there from the Prairie Blizzards. They were able to keep ball in hand and get going forward. Good work there from both teams. Good driving forward there once again by number 1. We talked about him a bit, Ryan Stevenson. Get the ball going forward. Exactly what we want to see. Prairie's kick it. Don't know if that's going to be a knock-on or what the ref will decide to call from the fullback there of the Ontario Blues. But they are playing. That's a very important thing to be doing. Make sure that you keep playing until you hear the whistle blow, folks. It's a lot of things a lot of people do. They preemptively do it. Good work there from the Ontario Blues to get going forward there. Good take there. Good pressure from the Prairie Blizzards. It's a scrappy ball, folks. Good pressure there from number 9 of the Prairie Blizzards to get up in their face. Once again, the line speed is pretty good here, folks. The Ontario Blues almost break the line, but it's good work there. Nice little offload to the Ontario Blues. And there's an overlap, folks. Number 13 of the Ontario Blues is off. Will he pass? Will he pass? Oh, and he throws it away, and the ball is out. That is a crucial missed opportunity there for the Ontario Blues. They thought they were off to the races. They could have brought the score to be closer with the dying minutes of the halftime. But no, folks, they threw it away. And the Prairie Blizzards are going to be pretty happy with that. It's going to be their lineup. They've had a good lineup so far. They've had a good lineup, folks, so far, so it'll be interesting. Ontario's hungry for that first try, you know. They don't want to go to halftime with no score. They want to have something on the board to show for themselves. Good work there, but they throw it off a bit. Number 9 kicks it out, I think. And, folks, they kick it out because that will end the first half of the friendly match between the Prairie Blizzards and the Ontario Blues. The score is 10 for the Prairie Blizzards and 0 for Ontario. Ontario's going to be disappointed with that first half, I think, there, folks. They're going to be they were the national champions from last year. They were silver medalists of this tournament. They're playing the 4th place team, the team that didn't get a medal here this week, folks. And they're down. They don't have any points on the board. Meanwhile, on the other hand, the Prairie Blizzards are going to be very, very, very happy with that first half. They are up 10-0 from some amazing defense, some amazing offense, and it is a well-deserved first half for the Ontario. My apologies, for the Prairie Blizzards. Their coaching staff's going to be happy. They're going to say, "Keep going, boys. Don't take the foot off the gas pedal. We have 30 minutes left. We're going to go home, beating the silver medalists. We may have not gotten a medal, but we'll have bet the silver medalists, folks." So we'll take a quick time out here at the Swallows Rugby Complex. I'm going to get a quick breather, grab a drink of water. You do the same as well. Grab a drink of water, drink of coffee, a bite to eat. But we'll be back in a few short moments, so make sure not to go away. Talk. Welcome back, folks. I hope you had a great little few minutes time out there. My name, if you're just joining us, is Liam Warren. I'm the Communications Director of Rugby Newfoundland and Labrador, and also of this tournament. If you're just joining us, this is the final game. It's a friendly match between the Prairie Blizzards and the Ontario Blues. The score is 10-0 for the Prairie Blizzards. It was a pretty disappointing first half, I believe, for Ontario. They're looking for a bit more out of this team, and they're looking to. They won pretty handily. They won by a fair bit when they played the Prairie Blizzards in round robin action earlier this week. Might have been a bit too much time on George Street last night, but there'll be some discussions had, I'm sure, if this game continues the way it has so far. Oh, that's not a good start there for the Prairie Blizzards for this first half. The second half, I apologize. The refs are going to call it a knock-on. They're not going to play advantage on that knock-on. That'll be an Ontario scrum. The scrum so far for Ontario has been pretty heavy. They've been pretty good at being able to push back, be able to put that pressure on the Prairie Blizzards. We'd like to take this opportunity to thank sponsor Modern Business Equipment Solutions. They are an amazing sponsor of the sport of rugby, the entire Mallard family. David won a national championship yesterday, so I'm pretty sure the entire Modern Business Family Equipment Solutions and the Mallard family are pretty happy today. As we talked about, the scrum is one of the most important parts for both teams. It's an important set piece. We've seen it a few times now. It happens every time there's a knock-on or a forward pass. And both teams have had a pretty strong scrum so far. But very important in anything we do in rugby, safety is crucial. We need to make sure that we have safety in the forefront of our mind. It's one of the most important aspects of the sport. Put in there by Ontario. The scrums are getting a bit higher, I've noticed, throughout the game. That's going to be associated with fatigue. Good pickup there from Ontario. Good little opt-in, number 9, and he's right under the post, folks. That is an amazing start for the game, for the second half, for the number 9 of the Ontario Blues. We talked a bit about him, Cole Brown. He has scored a few tries, but I think the ref is... Folks, I talked too fast. I'm sorry about that. There's a bit of discussion happening there. That is definitely not what Ontario was looking for. It is going to be another Ontario put in for a scrum. Let's see if they'll be able to do that again. Number 9 from the Ontario Blues thought he was in there, but he was unfortunately not. That's an interesting choice there by Ontario. Their number 15, their fullback, is putting the ball in. And the number 9 is in the number 10 position. And you're hearing now the Ontario Blues players that are in the reserves are calling out, do that again, do that again. So they're definitely going to be trying to do that again because they were able to break through that line. Number 15, the number, good little catch there. Gaining yards, good work there from Ontario to get back in to the half. They're off for a rumble, number 1 of the Ontario Blues, Brendan Bennell. He's been picking up a few balls this game, taking some strong runs. After number 10 there. Number 21, and for Ontario, he dives in, and he is in. That is number 21 for Ontario, Liam Bauman. He is in a reserve. He's going to be happy with that. Has his first try of the game, first try for the Ontario Blues. And once again, the Ontario Blues are now back in the game. The score is going to be 5-10, depending on how the conversion goes. Conversion is kicked if the conversion is kicked exactly from where they scored. They bring it out to wherever the kicker feels most comfortable, and they kick it for points. If the kick goes through the uprights, it's 2 additional points. So when you score a try, it can be up to 7 points or a minimum of 5 points. Number 9, Cole Brown. We talked a bit about him. He almost had that. He had that try there that we thought, but it was a bit too early to be called. Not exactly sure what happened there, folks. My apologies on that. But he's kicking for points here now. Definitely not an easiest kick. Definitely not an easy kick to make. The kick is just not enough gas on it at the right trajectory. So the score, folks, is 10 for the Prairie Blizzards, 5 for the Ontario Blues. That is a good start to the second half here for the Ontario Blues. They are now on the forefront. The Prairie Blizzards need to keep that ball, and they need to keep that strong defense they were showing in the first half up to keep this game theirs. That'd be amazing, folks, if the Prairie Blizzards. It'd be amazing for their program. It's only a 3-year-old program. It'd be amazing if they were able to beat the silver medalist here at the CRC friendly match. Oh, and that kick's not going to be 10, folks. That's not going to be 10. So they have the option of a lineout, or they have the option of a scrum at center. And the Ontario Blues are going to go for a scrum at center field. They've had a pretty strong scrum, so that seems like a smart choice there by all involved. They can be on the forefront here now. They can be running forward, which is exactly what they want to see, folks. It'd be interesting to see there if number 9, Cole Brown's able to get beyond the vantage line like he did there as that try that we thought that was there, but it was not. It'd be interesting to see because that was a strong scrum. That was a strong run there. I'm not sure if he only got in because the ref called the whistle and the Prairie Blues recognized it, or if the Prairie Blues just couldn't get him, folks. That'd be interesting to see. Ref calls a scrum up. As we mentioned, safety is in the forefront of everybody's mind. We'd like to take this opportunity to once again thank our bronze sponsor, Gatherall's Puffin and Whale Watch Tour. There's been a few teams out there now. They've had a great experience, I've heard and seen. So if you're ever in Newfoundland, Labrador looking for something to do, Gatherall's Whale and Puffin Watch Tours in Bay Bulls, Newfoundland, Labrador. And if you're coming shortly, make sure to use the promo code Swallers, and 10% will go back into the 10% of the profits from your booking will go back into the development of the sport of rugby in Newfoundland, Labrador. Kick there from Cole Brown. Cole is chasing that. I think he's going to have the ball, folks. He's going to be able to pick it up. And Cole Brown gets that try. Cole Brown was hungry for that try after the try that he thought he had, but did not, was there. The halftime talk from the Ontario back and forwards coach and their head coach must have done something because this team has come out roaring. This is the Ontario Blues that when you think about the Ontario Blues as being the national champions from last year and the silver medalists from this year, this is the kind and high level of rugby that we expect from such a powerhouse like Ontario. So, folks, that brings the score to 10-10. It's an even score with only 6.5 minutes in now. It'd be interesting to see if Cole's able to complete the try and then the conversion to bring the score up and gain 2 points for the Ontario Blues. And that's an amazing kick there from number 9, Cole Brown, to round out his try. That brings the score, folks, to 12-0 for the Ontario Blues. The Prairie Blizzards probably were not hoping for this outcome. They were not hoping for the Ontario able to come back within 6 minutes of their full first half performance, but that is to be expected. Ontario does not let their heads down. They were down by 10 points at halftime, and now they're winning. Now they're leading by 2 points. That's a deep kick there from the Prairie Blizzards. Good pick up there by number 21 of the Ontario Blues. Good running there from number 21 once again. That is Liam Bowman. He scored the opening try here for the Ontario Blues. He's able to get yards there. Good rucking there also by the Ontario Blues to maintain position. Good running there from number 4 of the Ontario Blues. He's doing a bit of a spin around. That is number 4, Broderick Black. He's also been a force to reckon with this tournament. Good counter ruck there from the Prairie Blizzards. They're trying to turn it over. It's getting a bit messy. Good rucking there from the Ontario Blues to keep possession of the ball. Good rucking there by number 8 of the Ontario Blues. Good running there from number 14, the Ontario Blues. That's the thing we mentioned, folks. Once Ontario gets moving, they didn't have much ball in the first half. They are dangerous. Once they get going forward, it is difficult to stop them. Nice little offload as he was going down the ground there from the Ontario Blues to keep the ball game going. There's an overlap, folks. Let's see if Ontario recognizes number 10 there once again for the Ontario Blues is running forward. That is Andrew Basson. Number 15 is acting as I believe the scrum half was down there, but number 15 is acting as the scrum half. May have been some slight changes there at halftime there, as number 15 seems to be acting as scrum half. Number 15, by the way, for the Ontario Blues is Sean Seinman. Good rucking there from the Ontario Blues. Dangerous offload, but he's out, folks. That is number 21. That was a dangerous offload there, and he was pretty much on the way out as he took it. That is number 21, Liam Bauman. That is a penalty against Prairie Blizzards. I'm not exactly what it is for. The Ontario Blues, let's see what they're going to decide to do, folks. Are they going to opt to kick it for points? Are they going to run? through the hands, or are they going to kick to the touch? And they're going to kick the touch. Let's see if they'll get it out, folks. That's a pretty much midfield kick, and it's out. So that is right on the 22, folks, for the Ontario Blues. They are on the 22 of the Prairie Blizzards. This is a good spot for them to be located. Once they're able to get their lineup up and get driving, they will be dangerous. There's a sub now for the Prairie Blizzards. Number 16 is going on for the Prairie Blizzards. That is Logan Conrad, and he's replacing, I assume, a front row player. We'll see now is Ryan Steves is still on, so it must be David Arson he's replacing. Prairie Blizzards are countering that mauled attempt, that drive. Not getting many yards on that one there. Good work there by number 1 of the Ontario Blues. He gains a lot of yard breadth. Brandon Bennell, we've seen him run a few times now. Pick up ball, keep going. Good rucking there by Ontario Blues to get over the ball. Good little pickup there by number 21, Liam Bauman, and once again for the Ontario Blues. He has been all over the field, folks. Keeping ball, cleaning it up, scoring tries. Number 15 there. Good pressure there from the Prairie Blizzards to get up on the scrum half's face and get the ball. Prairie Blizzards are hungry here now. You see that they're committing a lot of people into that counter ruck. Will it work for them, or should they fill the field? And it looks like they're the Ontario Blues are getting driven back a bit there. So it seems like it may have worked in the temporary, but there's an overlap being created. And Prairie's are able to turn that ball over. Good kick there by the Prairie Blizzards to get out, but it's just not in touch. Folks, that makes it an Ontario getting a bit scrappy down there, folks. I'm not exactly sure what's happening. Hopefully it's nothing too major. The ref is getting involved by the looks of it. There's a bit of jersey pulling by both teams there. Both teams are cooling down a bit. So that was kicked out there. By the Prairie Blizzards to try to exit their zone, but they didn't really work that well. They only got roughly 22 meters out of their own try zone. So it's probably not what they were looking for. The refs are having a bit of a discussion there now, folks, about what just went on there, what happened, who started it. I'm sure there'll be some discussion about that. It'll be interesting to see if there's any yellow cards. Some of the fans here are calling for yellow cards. It's definitely a smaller crowd here than normal, based on the fact that a lot of people are probably out celebrating last night, and also the home team, the Atlantic Rock, is not playing today at all. But all the same, it's a good day for rugby, folks. It's a good day for rugby in Canada. It's a good day for rugby in Newfoundland and Labrador. And I'm sure that the boys, the Atlantic Rock, the members of the team yesterday they'll be telling their children and their grandchildren about that day yesterday for many years to come. Some discussion there. I'm pretty sure the ref has called time off just because they don't want to waste time on such calls as this, such time for this. The ref is calling both captains in by the looks of it. Let's see if they pull out any cards here. The other day, Tim Powers and Patty Daly were on Monday, and we saw 4 yellow cards awarded one time. And that was something that neither of them have ever seen in their long careers of rugby. The rest had a bit of discussion, just letting them know what happened, what they talked about. I'm sure both teams are bidding on the trump to see if there'll be any cards here. That's a good thing about it. They have that respect that they shake each other's hand just after they each got a yellow card. So a yellow card here, folks, lasts 7.5 minutes for each team. Each team will be down to 14 people for 7.5 minutes. And that's going to be a scrum, folks, right on the Prairie Blizzards 5. It's going to be an Ontario put-in. So Ontario's looking to keep the ball, get running. Once they get running, folks, as we've mentioned time and time again, they are dangerous, and they are not a force to be reckoned with.
Kieran 50. Kieran 50.
You're hearing some coaching there now from the sidelines. I'm not exactly sure what it is for or which team it is for, but that is something that is common here in the sport of rugby in Newfoundland and Labrador. It's not our very own Pat Parfait, though, so it must be someone with either Rugby Ontario or the Prairie Blizzards team. Good pickup there from number 8. Is he in, folks? I think the ball is fumbled on the ground, so I don't think that's going to be a try. that was a missed opportunity there by Ontario for sure. They could have widened this lead, widened the cushion they had on the Prairie Blizzards to make it something more substantial of a lead, and also to add a bit of cushion. So this is going to be now another scrum right at the 5 for, I believe, the Prairie Blizzards. There might have been a slight knock on there by Ontario, and that's something that both teams, we're now roughly halfway through the second half, so each team's been playing 45 minutes of rugby so far, so fatigue is starting to become a factor. It's nice and warm here today. Each team has played roughly 3 or 4 games so far, so this is definitely, the amount of rugby they're playing is definitely taking a toll on their bodies, on their mindsets, and I'm sure each team are looking forward to getting home, having some well-deserved rest before starting training for their clubs, their schools, and getting back to reality. Seems like there's some discussion there. Both teams are getting set. They've had a fair bit of scrums this game. There's been a few knock-ons, a few forward passes. Refs calling it a penalty against Ontario, so this is good for the Prairie Blizzards. They're able to probably kick and get the ball out of their own 5, because they do not want to be here. No team wants to be in their own 5 with the trailing just by 2 points. They want to get out of their own 5. It seems like there might be a player down on the Prairie Blizzards. The trainers are running on the field. We have medical staff here as well if it's anything too severe. Let's hope that both players are able to get up. The players are able to get up on their own will. We'll take this quick opportunity once again to thank all the amazing volunteers here that have been day in, day out, making sure that tickets are being processed, people are being paying to get in, because it's very important to make sure that we take in some money for the development of the sport, and also to cover any necessary cost here for anybody, for all the people doing the scoreboard, the ball boys, people selling the t-shirts, the canteen, the people that organize this committee, including myself, Roxanne Butler, John Cowan, Pat Parfrey, Morgan Lovell, Sean Clancy, Steve Gardner. None of this would be possible without all these amazing people, and it is amazing to see the level of support that we have from our sponsors, our volunteers. It's amazing. The sport would not be possible without any of that. So make sure this is the last game of the tournament here. I'm not exactly sure where the tournament's going to be hosted next year, or what the future is of the tournament, but hopefully it continues for a long, long time, because this tournament is the key point of identification for the under-20 men's team, and we're talking a bit with Jamie Cudmore, former international flanker for the Rugby Canada, and also the new Pacific Pride Academy, the revamped one. He's the head coach of that, and he was here throughout the week and leading up to the tournament, and I'm not sure if he's here today, but he was taking notes on different players. There's a few times that I saw it walk by. He asked me about a few different players, their names, position, province they played for, region, and also for he was up here discussing with Tim about that as well. And it seems like the player is able to get up on his own will, so that is good. There's a sub now there for the Prairie Blizzards able to get in. But as I mentioned, this is a good tournament for people to strive. We had all of our junior players out watching throughout the week, and they're off now to Eastern Nationals in Kingston, Ontario. So best of luck to any team, anybody that's listening to this that may be participating or have a child participating in that tournament happening in Kingston, or the Western Nationals as well, I believe happened last week as well. So lots of exciting rugby happening, folks. And I'm sure all of it is most likely going to be streamed, which is good for anybody who has the passion to watch rugby, has a passion for rugby, or even just trying to learn a new sport. Rugby is one of the sports that it takes, and like anybody can play it. You can be slow, you can be fast, you can be big, you can be small. There's a position for everybody. That's one of the amazing things I also love about rugby. There's many things I love about rugby, and I'm sure you've heard some of them throughout this week. So there's going to be a line out here now for the There's going to be a line out there for the Prairie Blizzards. They're able to maintain ball. Good pick up there by number 18 of the Prairie Blizzards. Number 9 does a little bit. He's under a bit of pressure there. Good double teaming there by Ontario to drive him back, and he's driven back, folks. Good ruck there from the Prairie Blizzards to maintain possession, but the ball is a bit scrappy there at the back. And the ref's calling it off. I think it might be it's going to be a penalty against Ontario, folks, and that's one crucial thing that Ontario has been having a bit of issues with. They haven't been disciplined this tournament. not this tournament, I mean this game. And it's been causing them issues because they've been having to get back 10 meters, and that's hard, folks. If you're getting back 10 meters, you get your head down, not facing it, it's hard. That kick was not out of touch, though, folks. It's good pickup there from Ontario. That is good running there by number 21. Once again, Liam Bauman. Is he off to the races, folks? I think he may be off to the races. And that is going to be a disappointing try there from the Prairie Blizzards off of that penalty. That penalty, they were kicking for touch, but it was just out. And you saw there what happens when a team makes a little mistake. Ontario's able to capitalize on it. They did pass attack, and Liam Bellman was off to the races for try number 2 for himself today and try number 3 for the Prairie, my apologies, the Ontario Blues. So, folks, that brings the score now to 17 for the Ontario Blues, 10 to the Prairie Blizzards. Depending now how this conversion goes, they were able to, so far this game, Ontario's been, they've had one conversion, one did not make, so let's see now if number 9 for the Ontario Blues, we've talked about him a bit already, Cole Brown, is able to make this third kick. He'll once again add 2 additional points to the scoreboard, and also add a bit of a cushion there as well for Ontario. The last kick that Cole Brown made was very similar, in a very similar area. And folks, that conversion is good. Both lines people have their flags up, so that means it is good. So that brings now, folks, the score to 19 for the Ontario Blues, 10 for the Prairie Blizzards. This is definitely what we were expecting to see in the first half from the Ontario Blues. May have taken a bit to get them going, but now they are going, folks, and they are ready. They have been ready. They have been going hardcore since the start of the second half. Let's see if the Prairie Blizzards are able to lower that lead, get back into the game. There's 10 minutes of rugby left here, roughly, so it'll be interesting to see because the Prairie Blizzards at halftime, it looked like they were up. It looked like they had the game in the pocket, but no, folks. Ontario came back. Good pickup there by Ontario to maintain possession. Good running. Number 4 there looks like he's going to kick, but I think, folks, that's going to be a knock-on there. What is the ref going to do? And the ref does not play advantage. It is a knock-on there by the Ontario Blues. It's unfortunate. Ontario Blue had a few phases there that they were going forward. So they kept going forward. After a few more phases, they could have been off to the races like we saw just then with Liam Bauman with try number 2 for the day. It's going to be a Prairie Blizzards put in. Prairies are in Ontario's half. They've had this. The majority of the second half have been them on defense and Ontario on offense, which is opposite for the first half. So that just is a testament of the level of patience that Ontario has. But the Prairie Blizzards need to work on that defense, getting up off the line every time, pushing as communicating. But that level of the disorganization to be expected a bit there. Good work there. Good little chip there for number 10. Good pickup there by number 12. He looks offload, but it's not there, so he holds it. That is a very wise choice there by number 12, the Prairie Blizzards. Number 12 there is Quentin Kipp. Bit of a fight there now with the Prairie Blizzards to maintain possession. They are hungry for this try, folks. They are hungry to get back in this game. Good pass there by number 2 to 10. Number 3, Ryan Stevens. We've talked about him a bit. Number 13's back there running again. Good pressure there from Ontario. Good rucking there by number 15, Luke Wilson, once again. That's number 10, number 18. That's going to be a penalty against Ontario. So this is not what Ontario wanted there. And they opt to go quick. Number 22 opts to go quick. I don't know if there's much communication there with his teammates, but that will do, folks. Number 3, Ryan Stevens. We've talked about him a bit before. He is going strong. Good pass there by Dean Mason out to number 2 of the Prairie Blizzards. They are nearing the try. Is he over, folks? Will he be over? Good driving there by Prairie Blizzards. I think they're in, but are they going to be able to touch it down? It's a penalty against Ontario, so they're going to go back. Prairie Blizzards are going to be able to keep the ball. Are they going to opt to go quick? It's a bit slower getting up there on the ground than they probably would have liked, because if they are able to get up right away, they'd be able to go quick. There's a few changes coming on now. Number 20 is coming on for the Ontario Blues. That is number 20 is Kevin O. Let's see if he'll be able to make an impact. And number 9 for the Prairie Blizzards is coming back on after a short stint off. That is number 9. We talked about him a bit, Andre Gurk. So it'll be interesting to see now if either of those players are able to make an impact, change the course of tide of this game. That's another cool thing about this tournament too. We get the bench in. There's depth on all teams have depth on their benches. Some players are not happy that they're on the bench. They want to be in the starting 15. And we saw throughout this tournament there's a few occurrences on the different teams where people who started on the bench on Monday finished on the starting team at the end of the tournament. So that's another good thing too. You can prove yourself to not only the scouts here from Rugby Canada or any scouts watching this live stream, but also to your own coaching staff as well. That was Ontario. That was a Prairie's put in. Good running there for number 12, Prairie Blizzards. Prairies are able to maintain position off of that scrum. Hopefully they don't get white line fever here. Getting a bit messy here now, folks. The scrums are not as clean as they were once upon a time in this game. Both teams are committing more people to them, and they were able to. That was a pickup there by the Prairie Blizzards. They were trying to use their forward pack there to get it over the line. I wonder if they'll do another one here now. It seems like number 9 is letting the forwards do this as long as it is working. Good pressure there from Ontario. They're fighting on the ground to get that ball over. The ref has a good eye in there now. They're diving right over the ruck. You can see that the ref is angling for position. And the score is there, folks. That is another try for the Prairie Blizzards after a few penalties in a row, a few hard rucks in a row. That's probably that's probably a few phases that we haven't seen in a while out of the Prairie Blizzards. They get one phase, make a little mistake, then the ball turns over. So the folks, that brings the score now to 19 for the Ontario Blues, 15 for the Prairie Blizzards. That will be a interesting kick. It should not be a relatively difficult one as it is close to the uprights there for number 9 of the Prairie Blizzards. That is Andre Kirk. He's had a pretty good game kicking so far. He's been able to get a few off the kickoff. He's been able to kick a nice short kick, hanging nice and close, and his team's been able to turn it over after putting pressure on the Ontario Blues. It'd be interesting now to see if he'll be able to make it. Hopefully he does for their Prairie Blizzards team, as they would be only 2 points away. And folks, that conversion is good. You're seeing the lines. People have their flags up. So folks, that brings the score now to 19 for the Ontario Blues and 17 for the Prairie Blizzards. This is grab up some popcorn, grab some water, and stay tuned, folks. This is going to be an interesting last 5 minutes of rugby here at the Swallows Rugby Complex at the really newly redeveloped Dell's pitch. If the Prairie Blizzards are able to score quickly off of this kickoff, the game will change, folks. Like, it'll be an amazing feat for this 3-year-old program team that all met and practiced together for the first time here in Newfoundland. They'll be an amazing feat. They'll be able to go home, say they bet they could have been the gold medalists, sure. But that was a good pickup there by Liam Bauman of the number 21 for the Ontario Blues. Good fight there, and folks, that may have changed the course of the game there. That was good pressure there from Ontario. Number 1, once again, for the Ontario Blues. We've talked about him a bit. Brendan Bennell is able to take the ball, maintain possession, get yardage. Bit of a sloppy pass there from number 20 of the Ontario Blues, acting as scrum half. That gives the Prairie Blizzards a chance to get up, put the back line under pressure. Yeah, once again, see the pressure. They tried to pass to their wing, and they were only at roughly halfway. So that's a tough pass there to make on a good day, and also a tough pass to make for a really good passer. It seems like there may be somebody down from the Prairie Blizzards, so it'll be interesting to see how long the ref lets the play go for. They are down a player right now. And folks, that is going to be good. That is going to be good, and I think that might be our friend Brandon Bennell scoring that try that will put a little bit of cushion, a little bit of breathing room there for the Ontario lead. The trainers are looking at it. The ref's looking at the player that's down. The trainers are talking to it, but that, folks, regardless of that, hopefully that person's all right. That brings the score to 24 for the Blues, 17 for the Prairie Blizzard. So it was a relatively close game, all game so far. We have, I'd say 5 minutes tops left. That's going to be a relatively easy kick there once again for Cole Brown. He's been pretty good at the kicks regardless of where it has been so far. It's right in the middle of the uprights, so it should not be an issue. And, folks, that conversion is good. You see that the Lions people have their flags up. So that brings the score to 26 for the Ontario Blues and 17 for the Prairie Blizzards. So it's definitely not the result that either team was looking for. Prairie Blizzards were hoping to be able to take this one off. They've been preparing hard. I've been seeing on Twitter and through social media. They've been out every day for numerous hours running training sessions. They've been doing all their preparations right, eating right. They've been stretching after games. What more can they do? It's a hard situation being a 3-year-old program, having players from 4 different provinces, all not being able to practice at one place for a long period of time. But the Ontario Blues also, they bet this team. They didn't let this team score last time they played each other. So it's definitely not the result that Ontario was looking for either. They were looking for a bigger lead, a bigger win. But, folks, the game's still not over, so I can't say that. The game's still not over, so Ontario hasn't won yet. Little exit kick there from number 20 of the Ontario Blues. Good pressure there from number 10 of the Ontario Blues, getting up there real quick. Good pick up there by the Prairie Blizzards to maintain possession. Good little chip kick. Will it work out? Good pick up there by Ontario Blues. Oh, I think that might be a knock forward. Little kick there from number 10 of the Prairie Blizzards. Good pressure there. He gets back up after that kick. Good pressure to get that player down from the Ontario Blues. Number 1, Brendan Bennell. We've talked about him a few times. He is a driving force, a force to be reckoned with. All players here are trying to make a name for themselves at the higher level. Number 10 there. Little tries to offload, but passes slightly forward, and it didn't go to anybody. So the Prairie Blizzards are able to capitalize on it. They're doing a bit. They're able to pick the ball up, and they're able to run a bit. They're now in the Ontario Blues half. They get out to number 16, that sub that we talked about. That was good work there from him, going down to the floor and then on the floor to get past the halfway point. A little skip pass there from the Prairie Blizzards out to their good work there from the Prairie Blizzards. They're able to get past the advantage line and gain yards. Good work there from all involved. They're going through multiple phases now. Little kick, little rubber kick there. Good pressure by the same person that kicked it. Good pressure getting up on number 14, Ontario, but he's able to fend him off. Good work there by Dean Mason to get that number 14 down. Finally, from the Ontario Blues, not able to get him not able to get into their own half. Good work there from the good pick up there by number 20. It's a bit sloppy of a ruck there, but he kicks it the opposite kick. He's been kicking a few times now, folks, this game. Little miss of a pick up there by number 14. A bit slow picking it up, and he throws it away. Ontario is kicking it. They're playing a bit of soccer, folks. Good pick up there by the Prairie Blizzards, but they are under immense pressure there. Good chop tackle there from the Ontario Blues. He's able to get up. That's their number 9, Cole Brown. Not only is he a kicker, folks, not only is he a try scorer, he is also a great tackler, folks. He's making a name for himself here at this tournament, and I'm sure that Jamie and entire Rugby Canada community are looking at. Number 12 there, the Ontario Blues picked it, but he's not able to get it. So that's Ryan Stevens with the Sonny Williams offload there, but it was knocked forward by number 4, which happens, folks, from time to time. When the ball gets moving and it's not really clear what everybody's doing, mistakes happen like anything you do in life. But it's how you react to them and how you capitalize on them from the other team's perspective. Time is off. Seems like there might be an issue with a player's wrist. But no, the player is able to get up. There's some discussion now happening between the Lions people and the referee to see what happens. There's some discussion there now between the two teams on what's happening. I don't know exactly what happened. I don't know if there's going to be any cards awarded. I don't think there is, based on not any cards being pulled out yet. I don't think we've seen any red cards this tournament, though. That's always one that a referee has to take a lot of consideration to do, and there's a lot of different consequences. And Prairie's out to go quick. Their interesting choice. Number 10 passes it out wide. Good little getting it out wide. They see the overlap. Can they keep going? Good running there from the Prairie Blizzards, and they are and that might be a high tackle, folks, but I don't think the referee's calling. I think the referee's calling advantage. That was a high tackle, folks. We've talked about it. You need to do a seatbelt tackle. Rugby Canada and all provincial unions are working diligently to do that. So that is something that's very important. The seatbelt tackle. Good work there. Good pick up by the Prairie Blizzards. He is driving his legs. He is not down yet, folks. He is not down yet. This may be an interesting way to end off the game. And the Prairie Blizzards are able to score from that. So, folks, the Prairie Blizzards are hoping now that is not the last play of the game, because who knows, folks, they can come back. The score is now 26 for the Ontario Blues, 22 for the Prairie Blizzards. Hopefully they're able to make it 24 to 26 for the Ontario Blues with this conversion, but it's going to be a difficult one. It's pretty wide out. There's not much wind though, so it'll all be up to the player's technique. You can see that the Prairie decided to go quick with that because they know the clock keeps running when when they are setting up for their kick. So they have to go quick. Maybe not take all the time that's needed to prepare for that kick. Don't get the extra 2 points because if they get the ball, they can run. They know they can score 5 points just from that try, and then they can bring the score up to 27-26 and probably be one of the last plays of the game. So that, folks, brings the score up. That remains the score. 26 for the Ontario Blues, 22 for the Prairie Blizzards. And Ontario's looking to take over this ball now. They put immense pressure. Liam Bauman, number 21, put immense pressure on the Ontario Blues and was able to turn the ball over. So let's see if Ontario's able to do the same thing because they don't want the Prairies to have behind the ball because when both teams get going, they're dangerous. Once again, good pressure there from Ontario, but they are able to maintain possession. Good pickup there by the Prairie Blizzards. Good fight to stay in. Good work there by Dean Mason to get the ball out. He sees the opportunity to get it out wide and out. Ref's calling it up. I think it's going to be a knock on. Folks, that's the end of the game. You can see some disappointed faces here at the Prairie Blizzards. They're kind of like, what? But, folks, that is the end of the game. That is 26 for Ontario Blues, 22 for the Prairie Blizzards, folks. And that is the conclusion of the Under-19 Canadian Rugby Championship Tournament for 2019 here at the Adele's Pitch, the newly redeveloped Adele's Pitch here at the Squatters Rugby Complex in St. John's, Newfoundland and Labrador. We would like to take this opportunity to thank you all for tuning in from the start of the tournament to the very end of the tournament. It is greatly appreciated. Thank you to the fine folks at 5TV1, 360 Go Live, and Daryl, our producer / cameraman, for the amazing work they've been doing to get this game, to get this tournament to all of you from coast to coast to coast in our amazing country and also of our world, because it would not be possible without them. So on behalf of the entire organizing committee, the entire Rugby Newfoundland and Labrador population, anybody that plays Rugby in Newfoundland and Labrador, the entire Newfoundland and Labrador Rugby Union, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for being a great advocate of the sport of rugby in our world, and thank you very much for everything you've done. My name is Liam Warren. This is the end of the broadcast here now from the 2019 Under-19 Canadian Rugby Championship. Thank you very much. Safe travels if you're flying back to anywhere from here, and have a great remaining of your day. Thanks, guys. We'll see you soon.